Hello, connectors. I'm Grace Nelson, and I make up one half of One Less Stress Connect, and I am a business growth coach. Now, last month on in the Facebook group, I posted that I will be giving you a book review because I found that when the year started, I pledged to myself that I will be reading one book a month, and unfortunately, I let myself down, and I was really beating myself up about that. But I know how important reading is. Readers make leaders. This is my mantra. This is my anthem. This is what I tell other people. However, I just was not executing that in my own life. I was very busy juggling full time employment, coming home so late, so tired, and I would try and listen to 10 minutes of a good audiobook or try and read 10 minutes of a book every morning, but I just wasn't being consistent. So last month I did complete the book and it was a fantastic read, and that's why I want to share with you my review today. So I read the book by Daniel Priestley, the fantastic Daniel Priestley, I might say, called The Key Person of Influence. And wow, connectors, what a read. I'd always had this book on my recommended book list. I'd always been meaning to read this, and I finally completed the book at the end of last month, and I was just blown away. Now, Daniel Priestley is a successful entrepreneur and author. He's not only written this fantastic book called The Key Person of Influence, which I will be going into a bit more detail today, but he's also written other books such as The Revolution of an Entrepreneur and more recently Oversubscribed. These are all books that I want to read. They're all on my reading list, and I will be coming back to you in the next coming months with my reviews on each of those books as well. So the key person of influence, what's this all about? And it's something that we all need to really take heed of as we want to grow in our entrepreneurial journey. If we truly want to become successful, become leaders, become experts in our industry, then this is the book to read. Now, I actually listened to the audio of this book because it was much easier, because I was traveling a lot all the time and I didn't really want to carry the hard copy book with me. So it's actually the audio I listened to. But if you do get the chance, I really recommend that you purchase the book so that you can annotate it, make notes, and then you can keep, referring back to your notes as and when you keep on going along your entrepreneurial journey. Or if you do find audiobooks that all that little bit easier, then do refer to or do purchase the audio of this. If you have read or listened to The Key Person of Influence, then get involved. I want to see comments below this video thread, and I want to hear how you found the book, how it's helping you, some of the insights that you've taken from the book, because sharing is caring, and other people who may not have caught the book yet or read the book, they maybe want to learn from you. So it's all about sharing. So in today's fast moving industry, it's all about how you can position yourself to become well connected, well known, and highly regarded. The world is full of noise, full of people doing so many things, and sometimes you can just get lost in the crowd. So how do you stand out in the forefront and really position yourself? Now, Daniel Priestley in this book talks about the movers and shakers and how they start to establish an inner circle. And this is all within the establishment of having a micro niche. So whether you're in the industry of, say, health and well-being, what exactly is your micro niche within that big industry? How can you stand out and gain that competitive advantage? It is so powerful. It's something that we all have to take heed of. And, apologies if I just keep repeating that, but I just really want to emphasize and reiterate the importance of doing so. If you're in a place where you're in the events management industry, for example, how can you really micro niche and really drill down into something that will take you and bring you to the forefront so that other people can say, okay, I'm in the events. I want something within the events management industry, whether it's a product or service, but this particular person does X, Y, Z, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So Daniel Priestley breaks his book down into 5 key components, or key methods he calls it, which will help you become one of the most highly valued and highly paid people in your industry. Okay, and it's called or termed as the 5 Ps. Now, this is number 1 is all about pitch. How do you correctly pitch yourself? How do you get your core story out there? And I'll go into a bit more detail about that. Number 2 is all about publishing yourself. Number 3 is all about product. Number 4 is all about profile. And lastly, number 5 is all about partnerships and joint ventures. Now, all of these have been structured in a particular order, and his disclaimer is that you must follow each of these in the order that they have been prescribed. You must follow these in the order that each of these have been prescribed. It's very important when you're referring back to this. You can't just skip to 1. You must start at number 1, which was all about pitching, and then slowly move down the ranks in order to establish your partnerships or JVs, your joint ventures. One fantastic person that I will say that embodies or has all the characteristics in terms of following these 5 steps to a T is Richard Branson. Now, Richard Branson undeniably is a key person of influence. When it comes to pitching, he pitches ideas, other people pitch ideas to him. He's got a growing and glowing profile about him. Everybody knows about Richard Branson. If you were to Google him, stuff he's done in terms of products or services, he just comes up as number 1. And that's really the position that we all strive to get to. How do we become highly regarded in our micro niche industry? So I've just made a few notes that I will be referring to as I go along. So the very crux or essence of the book is, how can you clearly communicate your value in a way that you can package it up and market it to your ideal audience who will find it very desirable? So I'll just repeat that again. How can you clearly communicate your value and package it up in a way that you can market it that others will find it truly desirable? Others will think, this is exactly what I need. This is what I've been waiting for a long time. The key person of influence, the 5-step method that Daniel Priestley outlines, is the very way to do this. So if we start off with number 1, pitch. Before you can even start to think about, what's your product, publishing yourself, or going into some of the other steps, you need to refine and have the perfect pitch. The pitch is all about, what is your core story? What is it that makes you stand out and will give you that competitive advantage against other people? And you need to really refine this and make it consistent. Now, Daniel Priestley talks about when he's been behind the curtains, behind the scenes, and every person, every successful entrepreneur that he's listened to has a refined pitch which they can just say over and over again. It's the same constant thing, the same message that they're getting out there, and they know it off by heart. If somebody was to wake them up in the middle of the night and tell them to, pitch their story, pitch their product, they know it just like that. It just comes to them straight away. And that's the position that we all need to get to if we truly want to become established and known in our industry. You need to know your core story. You need to know about your journey, where you've come from and where you're going, and just refine that pitch. Secondly, that leads into publishing. Now, with every key person of influence, they have a published book. Something that's published out there. Not only a published book, I should say, but they've got published content which really takes their content or pitch into another level. So it could be a blog, it could be an article, it could be a book, but you need something that's tangible that people can go to, they can refer to, and they can resonate with, because you sold it in such a compelling way, and it really just hones in on what you're all about, and it gives value to that person, that user, that reader, and it draws them into your micro niche industry. They want to know more about you. And you just keep on providing that same consistent message but in different forms, and you just keep on giving that much needed value. Number 3 is all about having a product. Having a product is integral. You need something tangible that people can just latch onto, so that when you start to look for your partnerships or your joint ventures, people can maybe go on your website and say, oh, okay, they've got this CD, they've got this DVD, they've got this podcast, they've got this book, something tangible that they can pick up and that they know is giving other people value, and they can listen to and think, okay, I want to partner with this person because they're doing well, it's giving other people value, I can see it giving value to my own network, my own inner circle, and then that's where all the fruitful relationships start from. So, for example, Charlotte and I, we're now looking to have our own books published, self-published books, telling our respective stories, telling our respective journeys. But ultimately, it's just honing in on what we're passionate about, the business that we're building. And it's a way to position yourself as an expert authority in what you're doing, because by now, you know, if it's months, over the years, you are slowly building up that credibility, that expertise in what you're doing. So why not tell the world what you're doing through a published article or published book? Something to think about. And if it has been, you know, playing on your mind, you have been thinking about releasing a book, please do get in touch with Charlotte and I, and we can tell you exactly about what we're going through, the experiences that we're doing, and, you know, who we're connecting with in order to publish our respective books as well. Number 4 is all about the profile. Now, quite simply, I'm not going to go into detail about this, but if Google cannot find you, then you are invisible. You are a nobody. You need to start having things out there so that when you start to position yourself, you start to get out there and you start wanting people to pick up on your name, pick up on your service, pick up on your product, then Google needs to be able to have you there so that people can easily find you and find out more about you. It might sound harsh by saying this, but you know, if you are invisible on the Google platform, then you're a nobody out there. And you know, that's a position that, you know, you need to start working on today. No more procrastination. But one thing I will say, social media does help you do that. If you start publishing more live videos, start publishing links to maybe your blogs or articles that you've got on your website, social media can help push you up the SEO rankings and start to get your name out there. So it's something to really consider. And lastly is all about partnerships and JVs. Now this is so exciting. This is something that Charlotte and I are readily taking on board, and we're starting to connect with movers and shakers in other industries so we can connect with each other and we can reach a wider audience that will resonate with what we're doing. Now, when Daniel Priestley came to London in 2006, he didn't know anybody, and he had a lot of critics saying that he would never make it in London because London was such a big place and it was really hard to make a name for yourself. But Daniel defied those critics, and you know, I think it was within 12 months or so, he managed, through just the use of joint ventures, so partnerships, you know, very exclusive partnerships, he managed to make over £1 million in 1 year just through that. And that's what boosted his business. That's what allowed him to create this fantastic book, Key Person of Influence. And he's gone on to create, you know, many other books, give many talks around the world. So you need to connect yourself with the right people in industries that complement the micro niche industry that you're in, and just move with them, just learn from them and see how you can connect and build up a package together that you can really sell and market to the millions out there and make a significant profit from doing so. And you know, quite interestingly, Daniel Priestley said in the book that he doesn't believe in self-made millionaires. And you know, it's funny because over the last couple of years, I always said to myself I wanted to be a self-made millionaire, but now I really understand the very importance of partnerships. You need a team around you. You can't do it on your own. Many people in their books may have written about, how they made it on their own, how they became a self-made millionaire. And to be honest, that's completely shite. This it's not true, because you cannot do it on your own. Whether you need a mentor, a coach, or sidelines, or other people around you, you always have a team around you. All self-millionaires are not self-millionaires. They've had a team around you. And I really, really concur with what Daniel Priestley said about this. So, teamwork makes the dream work. It's something that Charlotte and I, we always used to say in the beginning, and we still do abide by today as well. So you need to find the right partnerships that suit your business model. And that's very important. So that's really it in a nutshell. That's the 5 P's that you need to look into. Number 1 is all about pitch. Number 2 is all about publish. Number 3 is all about product. Number 4 is all about profile. And then lastly, number 5 is all about partnerships, joint ventures. And just going back to the very beginning, what I said, with these 5 steps, you need to follow them in the order that they've been prescribed, the order that they've been written. And then if you go all in over the next 12 months and follow these steps religiously, then you will start to see yourself as a key person of influence. You're out there, you're connected, you're omnipresent, as they say. You're connecting with the right movers and shakers, whether it's from complementary industries or something else. You've nailed your pitch. You know exactly what your story is, your core story. You know exactly the value that you'll be giving to your key or ideal audience. You've got published content out there. It's rich content. It's giving value. You've got a fantastic product, tangible assets. It's no longer about income these days. It's all about having tangible assets out there, assets that people can just pick up on the go, on the ready, and they can get to know you, get to know more about you and your story. And then lastly, it's not about doing it on your own. Partner up with people. Why reinvent the wheel? Partner up with other successful people who've got growing industries, growing networks. Break into their inner circle as well and see what fruitful relationships can stem for that. So that is it. That is my book review on the key person of influence, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I will be coming back to you at the end of this month with another personal book review on the book that I'm currently reading. So at the end of the month, I'm going to come back to you with another personal book review about a book that I am actually rereading because I just love this book so much. And it's called The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. It's a fantastic book, and I couldn't get enough of it, and I wanted to reread it again to really redigest all the principles that Jack Canfield has laid out in this book. So I'm going to probably finish it by the end of this week. However, I will come back to you at the end of the month with a personalised book review on it. So thank you very much for listening. Please do comment below this video thread because I want to hear from you. If you've got any questions or want me to clarify on any of the 5 steps, proven methods that Daniel Priestley has laid out in his book, Key Person of Influence, please do just ask the question as well. But I strongly encourage you to please just go out there. If you haven't got the book or read the book already, please do purchase the book, purchase the audio book, and have a read, okay? Because this is it's a game changer, and this will really set you apart from others in your industry, in your micro-niche industry even. And over the next 12 months, you will really start to see progress in your journey from where you are now to where you want to be. It's just amazing. And I will be sharing my journey. I'm going to be very transparent, very open. And as I readily start to implement these things over and over again, perfecting my pitch, perfecting my profile, really getting myself out there all into the different cracks or or places out there that I can just wedge myself into. I'll be sharing that very openly with you, just to let you know what's worked, what hasn't worked, and what I'll be improving upon, because that's very essential. One thing that I really want to leave you with today is that we all learn from mistakes, okay? But it doesn't have to be your mistakes. So where I'm going out there and exposing myself to different things, trying out new partnerships, joint ventures, different groups, rubbing with different people, I will be very transparent in what's happening, what's working well in that, so that you can learn from my mistakes. You don't always have to go through things just to learn from your mistake. Learn from other mistakes, other people's mistakes too. So I'm just going to leave you all on that note and wish you all a very good day. Take care.